For an in-demand skilled trade career that's growing in popularity, especially here in Milwaukee. Ellie Nakamoto-White brings us into the world of steam fitting and why yesterday's perception is no longer today's reality.
Have you ever looked around at certain buildings or systems and wondered how they run or who made them? Well, inside of these doors is the answer. Welcome to Steamfitters Local 601, a 25,000 square foot facility where nearly 300 students are training to become the backbone for Milwaukee's infrastructure.
People know plumbers are the ones doing the sinks, the toilets, roof drains, things like that, water. The sprinkler fitters are the ones doing fire protection in a building, whether that's the house or a hospital. And so everyone knows what that is. We're the people that do kind of all the rest of that.
That meaning all kinds of piping and other systems that keep our city going.
And we do this all the way up from somebody's house, all the way up to strip malls, hospitals, schools, power plants, things like that, oil refineries. That's the piping work of the steam fitter.
Something that Steamfitters Local 601 business manager Joel Zilke knows well after spending nearly 4 decades in the industry.
I think people have a perception that construction trades, building trades type work is just dirty, back-breaking, not much thought, don't have to know a lot, just have a strong back type of thing. There's still that misconception out there.
A misconception he's hoping to clear up one worker at a time.
There's people that are better off working with their hands and have that skill and knowledge and just that appetite for fixing things, installing things.
That's why informing the younger generation of alternative routes after school is key.
Once you learn the trade, you can't take it away from you. You've got it for the rest of your life.
So what does it take to become a steam fitter? Well, according to training director Chris Vallerine,
if they don't want to work with their hands, they're not interested in welding or troubleshooting or even servicing equipment, this might not be your trade.
But if it is, anyone can do it.
An individual can literally come into an apprenticeship not knowing what a steam fitter really is, and we'll start all at the basics: math, reading, mechanical and spatial.
It's a 5-year apprenticeship program that requires long hours and physically demanding work. Individuals begin by finding a contractor to sponsor them.
That pre-apprenticeship it's like a time frame. It's a probationary period in which the individual can see if this is really a trade that they're interested in, as well as a contractor saying, hey, I'm going to invest a lot of time and effort in this individual.
If completed, students will then enroll in classes held at the training center.
They have 5 semesters of day school, which is either here on campus or else in Madison, as well as at MATC South Campus.
1 day out of the week is spent in class, and the other 4 are spent out on the job site.
You start out as a first-year apprentice, you're making $22.50 an hour with the steam fitters. You get done, and it's $50 an hour, plus all the benefits, so that's $100,000 for a person once you've gone through the schooling and all the training.
Plus, when you graduate,
no debt at all. And how can you beat that?
Just ask 4th-year apprentice Kevin Tatum, a 47-year-old Milwaukee man whose dream is to give back.
Being an older apprentice and coming into the trade, I have, I think, a lot of knowledge, a lot of lessons learned on the way. So I always try to convey to the young people that, you know what, this is the route to go.
Tatum, who graduated high school in 1993, says his steam fitting journey began when he got tired of hopping from job to job.
I wish I would have made that transition into doing something like this before. It takes care of your family, and it's a great career.
With just 1 year of his apprenticeship left,
it's not an easy path, it's a commitment. So you have to be able to commit to it. As for me, that 4 years has been tremendous. I've learned so much. There is so much more to go.
5th-year apprentice Rachel Nelson also feels the same way.
Pretty great, honestly. Time flies when you're having a good time.
Like Kevin, becoming a steam fitter wasn't originally on the table.
I had never heard of the Steamfitters Union.
But when she joined the military, things took a turn.
I actually got pregnant while I was in the Marine Corps, so I am also a single mother. So I had to get really serious about an actual civilian side career.
And while the only welding experience she'd ever had was during a class in high school, Nelson says choosing her own path is life-changing.
It's not as scary as you think it is. It's not as overwhelming as you think it is. The fact that you're constantly learning something all the time. And like with the technology changes, it seems like things are always changing and you're always growing. Like that is my favorite part.
Local 601 is 2,400 members strong and counting, covering 14 counties in southeastern Wisconsin. Every day, hundreds of apprentices like Kevin and Rachel learning to build, fix, restore, and have fun while doing it.
I think if we can get to our youth early enough to give them choices and let them know there's opportunity out there to do something better with their life once coming out of high school.
There's been birthdays of my child that I've had to miss. There's been times where I've had to miss her gymnastics practices. Like, it's really important for her to have me there watching her, and like, that's been a big thing. Just losing time with family has been the worst of it. But at the same time, coming out of this with all these skills and the way that I'll be able to provide for my family because of this, it's all worth it.
Officials say the demand for steam fitters is growing.
Well, hey, the population is growing, and so everybody needs some place to live. Everybody needs some place to, come in and work. And so, the Milwaukee area is growing, and that demand just kind of fuels us.
And the workforce is evolving.
When I went through as an apprentice, it was one thing. It was a lot simpler. There's a lot more expected out of the apprentices nowadays, and to see them step up and be able to do that is just fantastic.
Be able to go through a brewery tour and it's like you can point and say, "Hey, I did that."
You're teaching a skill or a craft that is ultimately going to support yourself for the rest of your career.
I know